It's a beautiful spring day and we have just ridden down to meet the guys at Pier City Cycles, see what they've got going on in their workshop. We're getting close to show time, so we're going to see what they're bringing to the show, talk BMWs and find out more of their story. So come on in. Rory, Stu, thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming.
First time I've been down here, it's bloody brilliant. So you got this space here, little space next door.
Yep.
Tell us the story of Pier City Cycles. How did you guys get started with this game?
I'll give you the brief one.
Yeah.
There's a long story, short story. We'll go with short story. Stu used to customise bikes in a good customising environment with Harley, so he always had that sort of custom thing, but then also at the same time wanted to go racing. I, on another side, was working as a service manager in a cocktail bar, a BMW dealership, and loved my racing too, and wanted to get into the paddock. Had been working with somebody who did very well, and then was kind of left at a loose end when he went off to have management and teams and stuff. So I looked locally to see if I could find another local racer to help. Contacted Stu. We got in touch with each other.
So you're the fast one.
He's definitely the fast one out of the two of us.
That's very kind to say.
And just struck off a friendship from there, basically, which involved loving bikes, riding bikes, loving racing, and eventually enjoying custom work on bikes as well.
Right.
So that's the very, very short thing. Stu then came and worked with me in the dealership. BMW dealership. So he trained up to be a senior technician. I was working as a service manager. The 9T came out, which was obviously the platform that we build most of our bikes on. And all of a sudden it had everything we'd wanted. It was a bike that rode properly, handled properly. You could customise it. About the same time, you guys and a few other places were really pushing that custom thing.
What
and
year
we were
was
like, there we go.
the first R9T, like 2014?
2014.
Yeah,
2014
was the Gen 1. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. So we were both in the dealership, obviously fully immersed in the BMW experience, as well as being factory training and stuff like that was behind both of us. And the R9T was that product that came to us and thought, wow, actually this ticks a lot of our boxes. We're not... Like, sports bikes for us are track bikes, that's simple as that. Anything with a fairing, it's a track bike. Anything with a screen, it's a touring bike. And all of a sudden, BMW came to us with this product that was the middle ground, that we actually were like, actually, we could actually be into this and going out for a Saturday ride, going out for a Sunday ride, because it's a cool, doesn't want to go super fast, but handles sweet product. And because of the racing essentially had to stop because I had a very big crash and I was out of it for 6 months and had to get back into the swing of things, by which point, because racing's a very fickle environment, the train had left me behind effectively. So I'd always had the ambition to do custom work as a full-time thing. Rory had the same ambition as well. We both saw the BMW platform, or the R9T platform, within the BMW dealership and thought, let's see if we can have a play of some. So all of a sudden it turned into some late nights and some early mornings before work and after work, doing some, with the permission of the dealership, doing some experimenting, seeing what we could, basically, see what we could do. Looking every morning at the dealership, it would be, let's see what bike XF has got up this morning. And we'd just be looking for inspiration. And off the back of that, PCC naturally just came a thing, didn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
Just born out of that, really. Like Phoenix out of the ashes, really.
Yeah, I think so. You know, Stu had a big accident. He sort of underplayed it there. Helicopter out of Brands Hatch, that sort of thing. Head injuries, things like that.
Yeah, that's where the front tyre went over my head.
So there was a point where it was like, racing isn't really a thing we can go back to, and so that naturally just opened the R9T came about. You guys and all the other guys started going, here's some cool custom bikes. It was like that perfect little storm, basically.
And people want to be able to put their own touch on it, customise it, have people help them realise the dream bike that they want to build. And I mean, as well as the R9Ts, BMW Heritage now got this big beast in front of us, the R18. You're playing with these as well now?
Yeah, natural expansion for us. Yeah. You know, we've a lot of systems underneath there. Oh man, it's mega. It's mega.
I remember first seeing this at EICMA, must have been like, what, 2016? Just that motor, it's a beast.
It's a great, and they're cracking bikes as well. You know, we like to think that we sort of stand by what we do. when these first came out, we spoke to BMW and managed to get one on loan for the week, and I thought, well, the only way I'm going to test it is by doing 500 and something miles in a day, and so we did.
He done well. He done Wales and back.
Straight over to Wales, coffee at Baffle Culture, down all the way through the Cheddar Gords and such, and back, and it was it's a cracking bike. It's a really good bike. It's really surprising how good it is on the A roads. I was genuinely expecting it to be like a highway muncher, like it's meant to be. Yeah, it's very predominantly like a US market type product, but stick it in third and fourth, it's got so much torque. You don't really need to change it out. Just flowing through all the bends and stuff. Like any traffic you've got, just put your head out and go like that, just with the throttle. You don't really have to think about the rides. You can stop and enjoy it. They're really, really good motors. Really good motors.
So it all started with the R9T for you guys. So should we look at some of the R9Ts?
Yeah, sure.
I recognise this one. This one's...
Yeah,
had this at the...
That's going to be... Yes, we've had that quite a few of the Cafe Racer... the Bike Shed
Festival
track days, the festival, the Cafe Racer Cup. I was saying, so that's going to be our race bike. We are going to go endurance racing with that one, where we're going to be up against some of the big guys, effectively.
You were saying that's the 1000cc over is your only class, so you're going to...
Yeah, so realistically there are no Boxer Cup classes in the anywhere anymore. Even the Boxer Cup has sort of diminished, unfortunately, in Germany, which we were hoping to go and do some rounds of, so we were like, well, let's just go race it ourselves.
Great.
So we've got 5 blades, R1s, Panigales, everything else, and we're going to go out there on effectively a GS with a different suspension setup and see what we can do. Can't wait.
It's a very, very, very well balanced chassis. It's one of the best chassis that I've been able to ride.
Right.
Because of the trellis front end, it's very, very good for feedback. It gives a lot of mid-corner feedback, loads of feedback on the brakes. It's the only bike that I've ever had the rear wheel in the air in the braking zone. It's a great bike, really loads and loads of confidence. And then mid-corner, because of the final drive, it's got cylinder heads, and the final drive isn't necessarily in the braking zone. The final drive wants to lock up a little bit more, but then your slipper clutch is your left hand, essentially, your left fingers. Yeah. But because of that final drive and that single-sided cast aluminium subframe, rear swinging arm, it's super stiff mid-corner. So ideally you want the rear end to be stiff, as in to sort of power out the corners, but you want the front end to have that flex and that subtleness, so that the front gives you the feeling that you need mid-corner. And the trellis frame gives you that, and the single-sided rear swinging arm gives you the other bit. So it's just great.
It's a great bike,
and it's so much fun, because it's not like a 200 horsepower engine that's going to spit you off or send you up to the moon mid-corner.
110 horsepower?
110 horsepower with, I don't know how much torque it's got, but it's got bags of torque to just go through the corners in all sorts of gears, and it's just so much fun. I love
that you guys are taking these racing as well. So, but obviously the custom works kind of Pier City Cycles, that's what we know you for. We've seen your bikes at the previous shows, 2017, 2018. You've got 4 coming this year, maybe 5.
Yeah, something like that.
You've got some work to do.
Yeah, some long hours.
This one's coming, isn't it? The Midnight Racer.
Midnight Racer, you got it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, so this is our sort of in-house one. Obviously, it's really important for us to be able to turn up with a business card if we come to any meets or anything like that. And this was kind of the whole crux of this, was to highlight all of the things that we can do well in one package. Because obviously each rider, each owner, each customer that comes to us wants something a bit different. They might want to have to commute on it, or this, that, and the other. Whereas this is just all of the PCC signature parts in one hit. It's got the sort of truck light LED front end headlight, it's got the Valkyrie paintwork, it's got the JKA seat on it, it's got the sort of, we refer to the 3-in-1 rear end on it. Most importantly for us, it's got the airbox removal kit. So with the airbox removals, this is a kit we developed. It was basically the first product we put to market maybe 6 years ago or so.
At the dealer we developed that.
Yeah, and it's something that we've been doing for a very long time. The standard bikes come with a big chunky plastic tub in the middle, and everybody on a heritage bike wants it to look classic, heritage,
stick your arm through it.
Exactly. And so we've made them so you can stick your arm through it, really. And we started developing parts this year. That's our new big thing. So the scoop on this side, the mudguard on this is a PCC original as well. There's more PCC parts on this bike than anything else. And then we've just used all the other products that we trust. So we've got the Wilbur suspension, for example, is a massive upgrade on these. refinishing everything. So you've got the Cerakoted exhaust, you've got the anodized front end on there. Basically everything that we would put on our own bike, we have put on our own bike.
And talk to me about work Renon. This, I don't know if you can see it in the light down. We've got this logo here. This is a sort of part of PCC, yeah?
Yeah, in-house brand.
So yeah, the work Renon, that came out of, once again, our love for doing things in a very sort of like BMW Germanic sort of factory way. Like work Renon is loosely translated to factory racing, but the factory racing in German doesn't roll off the tongue quite as good as that, so we had to give it a little bit of flair. So the work Renon is that word that we associate with all of our track work. So on our rear sets that we develop for track, it is work Renon by PCC.
Right.
So that's the best way to explain it. Work Renon by PCC. It is all of our track focused development. So all of the videos and all of the social media stuff we do on the track bike, like all the R&D, it will all be marketed as Work Renon by PCC, because that's our sort of track side of the branch, and we like to give that a little bit of airtime, and it's something that we haven't done before, and we wanted to debadge this, and PCC we thought would look a little bit whack, but we knew that Work Renon would be the natural.
Yeah, and the work Renon, the other reason we're going racing, obviously other than the love of it, is because traditionally endurance teams, you've got the big guys who race at 24 hours. That's where the factories test their parts, and so we have always wanted to put our name to products that we know, we understand, and that we trust. The only way we figured we could do that is by going racing in endurance. So we're going out there, but 3, 6, 8 hours at a time, hammering these as hard as we possibly can, and then taking all that data off the back of it. So all of a sudden our fueling units and all these things that we put onto our road bikes will have more development, we'll have more parts. So certain things like the rear sets, we're going to be developing as a track type part. So you can come to us and say, guys, I love what you've done there. I've always wanted my 9T, or I've always wanted a track bike to be a 9T, or I've always wanted my 990 to be better on track, whichever way you want to look at it. And hopefully we'll start to build a stable off the back of that of effectively race prepped R9Ts for customers. We've got a few people who have contacted us before to say, I've done this. We had a guy the other week, we've done California Superbike School, I've done the 6-day course, I've done this. I don't want to go out and buy a sports bike and have it sat there doing nothing. However, if you can turn my 9T into that bike, it's yours then, and I'll just race prep it and I'll just track it from now on in, because my love is track riding and my love is R9Ts, much the same as how we got to do what we do.
Right.
But similar to everybody that sees these on track, he was actually shocked that we took them on track. He's like, won't take, I'll hire a bike. No. You take your bike, your R19, take it out on track, and you come into the pits and tell me how big a smile you got on your face and how much you underrated this platform as a very, very fun track going machine. A very good point to sort of like bring up what Rory said about testing parts is we are going to be working with How Performance this year, and they do master kits, and we want a couple of those on our track bikes. But we don't know them as a product, we know them as a brand, and they're reliable, and we use their brake lines, but we haven't used their master cylinders before. So the only way to test whether we can actually market these master cylinders on our web shop is to race. Because if they're going to fail, they're going to fail when you're giving it
everything.
And then they're not going on the web shop.
Then we know they're not good enough on the web.
It's got to be tested first, And the web shop and the parts and the development ties into new processes that we're looking at too. So with the race bike, we're looking at developing brackets and fairings and things like that we're going to start looking at 3D printing and much more modern takes on processes and production. So obviously a lot of the stuff with the R18 at the moment has been very much, we'll make things, we'll CAD them, and then we'll send them off, but it's all very much metalwork, it needs finishing and stuff like that here. With the 3D printing, we're going to look to start to put some super light, cool products to market. We've started with a few bits, we've had some scans done, and again, it's just another way of pushing things a little bit differently to maybe when you turn up and you see some of the other customizers and they might have their English wheel out and stuff like that. We're working in a slightly different way to what they are to start doing production.
With the web shop and the parts you offer for the R9Ts, there is sort of like specialist BMW customizer one-stop shop from racing to custom parts for your road bike and everything in between, really. Yeah
100%.
That's the aim.
Yeah,
and if you're saying it, then we've hit the target.
Well, so let's have a bit more of a look around. Let's see what else you got in here for us to look at. I'm enjoying seeing the race vests up here from the Bike Shed Festival. That makes me very happy.
Still got the reef going.
The reef is pretty much dead, but it's still there.
Is that the Bike Shed wreath.
Yeah, it's the wreath when we got on the podium. Yeah, absolutely. It's a little bit browner than it was.
Now. Great. And then, Dan, do you want to come see the other room? This one's not coming to the show, right?
Honestly, I feel like that's a little bit further along than one of the bikes we still got to get to the show, to be honest. No comment.
So this is... The plan with this one is going to be the showcase bike for the BMW stand.
Right, for the R18.
That is the plan, yeah, for the R18, yeah. So, as I'm sure you can be aware, because everybody here can read a calendar, we are looking at a bike that looks like it's just had the tank taken off of it, and it needs to be fully built, fully customised, and looking awesome in, I don't even want to think how many little days.
Yeah, I'm going to say 20 days, but
a couple of weeks.
Yeah. It's really inconvenient that you're here filming that.
Yeah, sorry, we've stolen your entire day. Those wheels look pretty special. What are they going on?
They're going on one of the other bikes that we're taking, so that's going to go on an R9T. As far as we're aware, that's one of the first sets outside of Japan for those. So the brief for that bike was the customer wanted an R9T that looked effectively like a Singer Porsche. So we've been picking some real nice bespoke parts for that. We get to work on a lot of bikes, and obviously we have to work to a lot of budgets, and everyone's got their own budget, and we'll always make sure we do the best but we can to it. This is kind of one of those ones where every now and then you get like, I'm just going to go with it. We suggest things different ideas to different customers, and obviously work with those budgets, and sometimes you're like, we could do this or we can do this, and every time we've sort of given in what we would like to do, he's gone, cool, and it's like, excellent. So
he's a cool guy.
Magnesium wheels.
Yeah, the wheels are going mad. We've picked out bespoke paints on there and everything else. We're going to be running with the new switch gears. So a lot of the stuff we try to do stuff people haven't done before.
Mm-hmm.
The BMWs aren't particularly friendly with things like the CAN bus system for working different switch gears in. So if you look at a lot of R9T custom bikes online, they almost always have the BMW switch gears quite plasticky. To be fair, a lot of bike builds have got the plasticky OEM, a lot of Triumphs, Harleys, they're all using the CAN bus system now, and they're an absolute pig to work around. And with his bike and with a few of the others we're going to be taking, we're looking at, we've managed to work a way to get those aftermarket switch gears, the tiny little Motone type switch gears, to work with the BMW system instead of having to piggyback a different system on it. So that's going to look special. That's going to look really special.
Very briefly, actually, the customer that came to us with that build and the reason for those wheels is a very, very good example of when we want to build a bike for a customer, or when a customer wants us to build a bike for them. One of our stipulations is, first and foremost, your budget, but more importantly than that is your genesis. So your genesis needs to be, it can be a Triumph, it could be anything, it could be Ducati, but in this case, the customer's genesis vehicle was a Singer Porsche.
Yeah, it's not bad.
So he's like, I love the gauges. So we've designed the gauge we're going with. Is it in a Singer Porsche? Does it look like it would be in a Singer Porsche? Yeah, it's going on. Seat. What seat do you want? Here's a picture of a Singer Porsche. I want that interior. Cool. Here's a green and gold Porsche that I love. Cool. We're going with green paint and gold wheels. So it's very, very encouraging when a customer comes to us with an out-the-box suggestion that he wants to put as his genesis.
Yeah. And something that gets you guys excited as well.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I want to build that bike.
100%. Like,
I want to see that. And that one's at the show, isn't it?
You can see that at the show,
Right.
That will be there.
That's going to have bespoke PCC exhaust on it as well. That'll be the first time that had been seen outside the workshop as well. So there's some tricks. We're trying to push as many new things from within these four walls as we can at the moment. Instead of curating cool stuff from everywhere else, just going, no, we're going more original where we can.
We were saying earlier, it's great the way so many custom builders are developing their own parts, like the unit garage parts that you guys offer through the site, JVB, Hooky, guys like that, who have done custom build one-off things to creating products that people can buy and have fitted to their own bikes. It's great. It means more cool bikes out there on the road.
Yeah, 100%.
As much as you guys are going bananas for the show because of how long we've been without a bike shed show because of
2019. I keep saying last year.
It
was 3 years ago.
But as mad as you are going for the show, we are as well. Hence why we're not just bringing something that we know that will tick boxes. We're bringing something that we know we've gone full bore on every element, every nut and bolt, bespoke wheels from Japan, bespoke switch gears. We've gone ham on every bike that we're bringing because we are so excited.
Mate, that's great.
Honestly, legitimately, we're buzzing for the bike shed show. We've called May our Christmas month.
Yeah,
Because
it's 100%.
It's our lead,
It's like
it's our lead up to Christmas Day.
It is. If you were
Christmas Day's 3 days this year.
yeah, if you talk to anyone in retail and they're just sort of like, so how are you guys getting on at the moment? Like just before Christmas, they're going to look at you through like bloodshot eyes and say, I'll answer that question in 2 weeks if I'm alive, sort of thing. And that's kind of how we feel about this at the moment.
Yeah.
Like 5 bikes, 3 weeks still to go. Like, well, it's going to happen, but it's going to be keen.
I'm really enjoying the plaques here. We need to make some more. You're going to go across the top with the next set of plaques.
Honestly, keep giving us slots and we'll keep doing it. That's fine.
18, 19, the 10-year
couple of trophies.
Oh, a couple of trophies.
Trophies over here.
The trophy room. Great. Well, gents, thanks so much. It looks like we need to leave you to getting your work done, but
welcome anytime. Cheers, dude. Thank you.
It's an absolute pleasure.
Oh, mate.
Thanks so much for coming down. Like I said, like it was an honour for the Bike Shed to contact us to want to come down, and we wholeheartedly, big into the bike.
This is all what we're about, man. We love custom bikes,
so
and
much.
you guys are building some bangers. So we'll see you in 3 weeks, 2 weeks. We'll see you really soon. I'm not going to say how many days.
I might have a nap at some point.
Yeah.
If you tell me how many hours it is, I'll feel much better.
Okay, cool. I'll figure that out. Cheers, guys.
Dude.
Thanks so much. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe and follow for more content just like this, and come to our show on the 27th, 28th, 29th of May to see these bikes and loads of others.